It's the International Soccer Preview. We are Soccerphiles Canada. Welcome to Series 31, looking at the players of the 2025 African Cup. This episode is looking at the players of Mali. Part 2, the selections. Here we go! Hello and welcome to the International Soccer Preview by Soccerphiles Canada. I'm Kevin and this is a continuation of Series 31 on the players of the 2025 African Cup. This episode is part 2 of our coverage of Mali's players. Alright, that brings us to the end of Section 2 and we move into Section 3 just for some closing business here. We want to welcome listeners to the short version of the mediacast. So here we're going to race through a review of what we covered in Sections 1 and 2. I have to keep the short to 10 minutes, so we might not include the review of surprises and injuries in the short section here, but let's do the main order of business, which is looking at the candidates and who made the squad. So we have manager Tom Saintfiet, and we don't think he's in any danger of getting fired or anything, so we'll consider him a selection for the squad. For goalkeepers, we had no definite candidate, but Djigui Diarra and Ismail Diawara as likely candidates, and they both were selected for the squad. And then for possible candidates, we have Mamadou Samassa and N'Golo Traore. Samassa made the squad, Traore just making the preliminary squad there. And in this review, we're not going to look at the candidates below that level unless they were selected for the squad. But if you are looking at the YouTube video, you can see their names there. And in terms of predictions, we are confident. One of the few fully confident predictions we have for Mali is Djigui Diarra being the starter. All right, in central defence, we have a definite candidate in Mamadou Fofana and a likely candidate in Sekou Niakate, both of those making the squad. We had 3 possible candidates here, Abdoulaye Diaby and Ousmane Kamara, both of them making the squad. But the other one, Ibrahima Cissé, not selected for the final squad. For starters, 2 stars, if you're looking at the YouTube, indicates we think likely Mamadou Fofana, Sekou Niakate, and Abdoulaye Diaby. We may favor Fofana a little bit, but we think it's going to be a rotation among the 3 of those. Probably just 2 starting though, because they usually use a 2-man central defence. On we go to left backs, and we have a likely candidate in Amadou Dante. He was selected for the final squad. Our possible candidate, Moussa Diarra, somewhat surprisingly, not even selected for the preliminary squad there. And that's all we have over here. We considered Amadou Dante a definite starter on this side, not just because he's the only one over here, but for other reasons. And all those reasons actually are kind of laid out in part 1 of the mediacast. Here we're just dealing with the names. Let's go to the right back position. We had no definite candidate. We had a likely candidate in Fode Doucouré, and he made the final squad. But the other likely candidate, Cheikh Oumar Konaté, only selected for the preliminary squad. We had 2 possible candidates too, Salim Diakite and Woyo Koulibaly, and a bit surprising too that Salim Diakite wasn't selected for the final squad, just the preliminary squad there. Woyo Koulibaly selected ahead of him. Not really a surprise, but Salim Diakite had played the position the most over the period. But it looks like they were dissatisfied with him because they're bringing in someone who seemed to be off the squad there, Hamari Traore, coming back into the picture. Yeah, we had put him as seemingly off the squad there, but Hamari Traore not only back in the picture, but now our candidate. We think him likely to be the starter over here. Okay, that's it for defense. In defensive midfield, we have a definite candidate in Aliou Dieng. He was selected. And we have Mohamed Kamara. Actually, Mohamed Kamara 2, if you're following the drama of the Mohamed Kamaras. Two players named that way. Three now, I think, actually. But anyway, Mohamed Kamara 2, a likely candidate and selected for the squad. And our possible candidate here, Ibrahima Sissoko, also selected for the squad. Central midfielders, we had two definite candidates, Lassana Koulibaly and Mamadou Sangaré, both of those selected for the final squad, as was likely candidate Yves Bissouma. Here we do have a new candidate making the squad. It's the first of just two, Mahamadou Doumbia, newcomer, but selected for the final squad. So we kind of dealt with these two positions together, often a three-man midfield for Mali, and we think Aliou Dieng is a likely starter, and Lassana Koulibaly and Yves Bissouma as possible starters. We were kind of regarding Mahamadou Doumbia as a backup for Yves Bissouma. So if Bissouma is injured, perhaps Mahamadou Doumbia will get the start. Up we go to the left attacking midfield, and here we have Dorgelis Nene as a definite candidate. He was selected, as was likely candidate Gawusu Diarra, selected for the squad. And then two possible candidates, Amadou Haidara and Mamadou Kamara, both of those selected for the final squad. So four candidates here, but we think some of them will be playing in different positions. Anyway, Dorgelis Nene, we consider the likely starter over here. Okay, at the right, though, there's a bit of a dearth of candidates, none at the definite, likely, or possible level, and none brought in. So it'll be out of position players playing. We weren't bold enough to nominate or make a prediction over here, but if we had to, we would say central attacker Kamori Doumbia coming over to play on the right. And that's what we're looking at next. Central attackers, we did have Kamori Doumbia as a definite candidate, and that's all we have over here. At the possible level or above. We do think it's likely that Kamori Doumbia will start somewhere on the field, but not necessarily here, as they only use this formation with the central attacker about half of the time. So Kamori Doumbia, a likely starter somewhere on the field. Finally, we go to the forward line. We had 20 names on our list here. We'll just do the top candidates here. Four likely candidates, Lassine Sinayoko and Mamadou Doumbia, both of those selected for the squad. However, two likely candidates not selected, Mustafa Sangaré and Moussa Silla. Both of those just making the preliminary squad. Rather, it was our possible candidate, El Bilal Toure, selected for the final squad. And we won't look below that except at one candidate, because here is our second newcomer making the squad. It is Gawusu Diakite, selected for the squad. And so that gives us four forwards here. In terms of starters, we're really not sure, but we think Sinayoko and El Bilal Toure are the most possible candidates. We just put them at the possible level. That's it. That brings us to the end of our look at Mali. We would like to thank Pixabay and Cold Fingers for the wonderful music used in this mediacast. The title of the piece is Eid Mubarak.